couldn't ask for a more perfect weather night for baseball. Temperature right at 70 degrees. The roof is open in Miller Park. And the Reds begin a 3-game series. It's a 3-game road trip against the second-place Milwaukee Brewers of the NL Central. And look who's in the house tonight with a Cowboy. Jeff Brantley and Jim Day. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. Well, Cowboy, 2 starting pitchers from this Reds team went to the All-Star game. Luis Castillo and tonight's starter, Sonny Gray. He has been really good his first year as a Red.
He has, Tom. And you look at the way that things kind of started. A little bit slow, trying to get his bearings. But, boy, that one start that he had against Milwaukee right before the break, 8 innings of shutout baseball. And you really have to look at that start as being the start that really put him back on the right path. Not only the great curveball, but the slider has really started to be a predominant pitch. And what that allows Sonny to do when he can get that breaking ball on both sides of the plate, then ride the fastball, that's a whole lot of outs in a hurry.
And both starters coming into this game pitching extraordinarily well. I mean, look at those numbers for Sonny Gray. Meanwhile, for Chase Anderson, Cowboy guy's been around a while and just keeps pitching good baseball year in and year out.
I think a lot of it has to do with the way Craig Counsell is managing. I think when you look at what Chase Anderson is doing, you see the numbers there, 5 2/3. That's a long start for Chase Anderson. More times than not, you're going to see bullpen early in the ballgame. More than likely not the third time through the lineup. Bullpen innings have been a major concern for the Brewers thus far.
And they've used him a lot here the last few days. We're not sure we'll see Hader or Jeffries in this series opener should they need them here tonight. Meanwhile, Nick Senzel been bothered with a tender hamstring. They gave him an extra day, and he will be in the lineup tonight.
I love his energy at the top of the order. I really believe that this kid brings some type of electricity that the other guys feed off of. When he's in the top of the order, he seems to get things going. You look at the Reds' numbers in the first inning, I think a lot of that has to do with this kid's production and his ability to get on base all the time.
And he is batting leadoff, starting in center field tonight. When we come back, you want to know what's going on with the Redlegs? You go to one man. That would be Jim Day. He's dialed in with Yasiel Puig in year 1.
Cincinnati Reds Baseball on Fox Sports Ohio is brought to you by Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. By Cincinnati Children's Hospital, changing the outcome together. By Furniture Fair, for style and flair, choose Furniture Fair. And by Skyline Chili, feeling good, it's Skyline time. Elgin Elk storylines and the curious case of these two teams in the run differential. Reds are plus 27 run differential, and the only team under 500 with a positive run differential. The Brewers, -4, but one of 3 teams with a negative run differential and a winning record. Go figure. If you can figure out baseball, please let me know. One thing we have figured out is Yasiel Puig, this stretch in the middle of the season, he has been a very good hitter at the plate and very productive, and of course leading to that plus run differential. 9 starts versus the Brewers this season. He likes to see the Brewers in the other dugout. 4.12 average, 4 home runs, and 12 runs driven in. He scored or knocked in 6 of 9 runs in the Reds' 3 wins versus the Brewers from July 2nd through the 4th. So the Brew Crew and Puig, well, it's been good so far. Stay with us. There's a Cowboy sighting. He's with Tom Brenneman to call game 1 of a 3-game set versus the Brew Crew in the final series of 2019 here in Milwaukee. Reds baseball next.
31-year-old native Texan Chase Anderson on his way to the mound, set to make what will be his 15th start, his 20th overall appearance of the year. Let's take a look at the Reds starting lineup tonight, presented by Furniture Fair. David Bell fills it out this way. Senzel back in there in center. Votto at first. Suarez down at third. Puig the cleanup hitter. Peraza batting 5th. Urban bats 6th and left. Iglesias at short. Gratterall catching Sonny Gray. And the numbers on the year for Anderson, not too bad. 5-2. ERA under 4. And he starts a series opener here tonight.
I think you have to know, Tom, coming into this ball game, especially if you're on the Red side that the best thing that you can do, especially since the Brewers have used a lot of bullpen lately, you want to try to get as many pitches allotted to Chase Anderson as early as possible in this ball game. The quicker you get to the bullpen, the better your chance of keeping up with this vaunted Milwaukee offense.
It's a third start against Cincinnati this year. You see, at the end of June, the Reds had their way with Anderson, 6 earned runs in 5 innings, but he came back strong the next time in a no decision on July the 2nd. And that was a game the Reds won in 11 innings, 5-4. Lifetime, however, against Cincinnati, 13 starts, a 5-3 record with an ERA at 3.8. So he's pitched a lot of good games against the Reds. Here we go on this Monday night series opener. Roof wide open. Beautiful night for baseball. Senzel a swing and a miss, and we're underway.
I'm not sure you could dial this up any better than what we're seeing right now as far as weather and just the way the ballpark atmosphere is.
Yeah, just a glorious night. I mean, it's expected to be this way throughout most of the country after getting just overwhelmed by the heat through the heartland of America in particular, among other areas, but everything really cooling off. I know we had a lot of rain back in the greater Cincinnati area today, but this weather, it's on its way there starting tomorrow. So good stuff. Senzel at 272. The only time we saw him over the weekend against St. Louis after injuring his hamstring in Chicago was as a pinch runner and stayed in the game in that long game. You may remember on Saturday when the Reds got their only win of the series against St. Louis.
I think as you showed the lineup, Tom, this is very unconventional from what we've seen really this entire year from David Bell. When there has been a right-hander on the mound, we've seen Winker, we've seen Dietrich. More times than not, of course, Tucker Barnhart on the injured list. But what I'm going to, much more left-handed bats in the lineup. Tonight against Anderson, a lot of right-handed bats.
And that is strike 3 called. A fastball right down the middle, and Senzel knew it.
I think when you look at Chase Anderson's numbers, they're awfully good against left-handed batters. Against right-handed batters, they hit 288. You're basically taking the changeup away from Chase Anderson by loading your lineup with right-handers. Now they have to produce.
Breaking ball near to Joey Votto, a strike to even the count at 1-1. Votto at 258 batter, 8 home runs and 25 runs batted in.
And if you've been watching Joey Votto lately, you will notice his hand positioning on the bat has changed. For years, we have seen Votto really choking up dramatically. Now down on the knob a bit.
That one in the air and foul ground. They've got quite a bit of it in this ballpark, and nearly overrunning it was Mike Moustakas. And that happens a lot on pop foul balls. Comes back towards the field of play. Let's take a look at Milwaukee on defense, presented by Ford. They have Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain, and Eric Thames left, center, and right. Hira was in the lineup after being named the National League's Player of the Week, but all of a sudden feeling some tightness in a quad, so he is scratched for Tyler Saladino. That helps the Reds tremendously because Hira might be one of the 3 hottest hitters on the planet, and the other 2 are in the Milwaukee lineup.
You were mentioning foul ball outs and foul ball territory. 92 outs for the Brewers this year have been recorded in foul territory. Now you say, well, what's the big deal with that? Most foul balls are not hit very well. They're just little pop-ups. So it benefits the pitcher. It benefits the defense. 92 is first in the National League, second overall to the monstrosity out in Oakland, who, and I mean, you're talking about the biggest foul territory of all time.
Well, I tell you, you have brought your A game here tonight by dropping 92 foul ball outs. Mercy me. Are you kidding?
You've got two pitchers on the mound that they like to benefit from the foul ball outs. And we've got another one pitching tomorrow in Tanner Roark that benefits by it more than anybody else.
Eugenio Suarez taking up and in with a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Team leader in home runs, 24. Team leader in runs batted in by 1 over Yasiel Puig with 60. Anderson blew him away with a fastball. He's got a good fastball tonight early on. Reds gone in order. Now Sonny Gray will try and answer. It's a native, grew up here, Craig Counsell. And now in his 5th season as their manager, his starting lineup presented by Furniture Fair. Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, Yasmani Grandal, Moustakis, the cleanup hitter, the big fella, Jesus Aguilar back at first, Thames in right, Arcia, Saladino, Anderson. Against Sonny Gray, making start number 20 as a Cincinnati Red.
A lot of Sonny Gray's success predicated on the breaking ball for strikes. We'll see how that comes about here early in this ball game. He has been really good with it lately.
Strike 1 to Cain, veteran at 247, 7 home runs, 34 runs batted in. I mean, these Brewers, they can hit. And Gray trying to keep them down after winning 4 of their last 5, averaging over 7 runs per game, just coming off a set where they beat Arizona 3 of 4. And there you see Cain, his career numbers against Sonny Gray, 500 batter.
Ooh, that was wicked. That pitch broke like a curveball, but the speed of a slider.
Gray getting better and better as this season rolls on. Of course, he came over in a trade from the Yankees. Reds signed him to a 3-year contract extension. There's a sinking liner that'll fall in a base hit on a 1-2 pitch.
Well, Lorenzo Cain has really, as he has aged, he's really gone to shortening his swing, and no more indication than of this breaking ball. Watch the ball break here, and he just slaps it out the other way. You can see the upper body, not an overswing, just staying right with it. Perfect 2-strike approach.
Well, that'll bring up the amazing Christian Yelich, reigning National League most valuable player. And he is so hot right now, it's almost indescribable. A 10-game hitting streak. He has 17 hits in his last 39 at-bats. And in the 10-game hit streak, 4 home runs and 9 runs batted in. They remember he looked terrible when they came into Cincinnati right before the All-Star break. Of course, that's been the only bad stretch he's had in 2 years.
Now, the Reds have had some success with Yelich this year, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have just worn him out with fastballs in off the plate and making him chase the breaking ball.
Leads the major leagues in home runs, slugging percentage, OPS, and total bases, among the league leaders in everything else, including stolen bases. He's right there in the hunt for the Triple Crown.
A lot of left-handed batters, Tom, they like that ball down and in to pull. For Yelich, he likes the ball up and out over. And you miss up and out over, you can kiss the baby.
2-1 to Christian Yelich. Cain, not the base stealing threat he once was, although he does still have 12, but he's been thrown out 6 times. That's on the inside corner. Perfect pitch there.
That's just not a pitch that Yelich wants to swing at until he has to. And normally that fastball that's down and in, that's the one he'll push back up the middle.
3-2. Well, let's see if they start the runner here. Generally, Craig Counsell, pretty aggressive guy, was as a player, is as a manager, but he also realizes that there's a lot of thunder up and down this lineup and may not want to run into an out. Runner not going and fouled back out of play.
Don't want to throw that one again.
Cubbies will be playing later tonight out in San Francisco. Milwaukee begins play in second in the NL Central, 2 behind the Cubs. St. Louis in the bottom of the third, opening up a 4-game series in Pittsburgh with a 1-0 lead. Cardinals are 2.5 back. Reds 9 back. Single and a walk to begin the Brewers' first inning. The defense behind Sonny Gray, presented by Ford. Senzel back in there in center, flanked by Urban and Puig. Peraza starts at second base, no Scooter Gennett. And Gratterall hanging a sign, obviously the first time he is working with Sonny Gray. Here's Yasmani Grandal. The last hitter, this hitter, and the next hitter all went to the All-Star game.
Sonny Gray here, you're looking for a pop-up. Even a fly ball out is probably going to keep Lorenzo Cain at second base. Obviously, the double play in order. Whew. There's not a hitter on earth that wants to swing at that 0-1. 1-0, 2-0, anytime.
Grandal, a switch hitter, former #1 pick, of course, by the Cincinnati Reds out of the University of Miami. Here's the 0-2 and a breaking ball he doesn't chase.
If you watch where Juan Gratterall sets his mitt and you look at the bottom of his mitt versus the top of the mitt, when the breaking ball starts at the top of the mitt, you're going to get a commitment, you're going to get a strike. That pitch is usually going to stay in the zone. If it starts at the bottom of the mitt, as the 3-2 pitch did to Yelich, you're not going to get a swing. It doesn't look as good. It's too far down.
Buried a fastball in on his hands there, but Grandal able to foul it off. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. First 2 aboard here in the Brewers' opening inning. It's a big homestand for Milwaukee. They've got the Reds here for 3. And you know who's coming in over the weekend. Chicago. In fact, after this series, 2 of the next 3 series for Milwaukee will come against the Chicago Cubs. Here's a 2-2. Gray pitched a big game last Wednesday. That was a rubber game of the 3-game series against the Cubbies, and he gave up a solo home run in the first inning, gave up a solo home run in the second inning. Reds fell behind 2-0. They would battle back to get him off the hook, but it was a game the Reds would lose. This should be a double play. Good throw to Iglesias, and it is. Just like you draw it up.
Well, it pays to be an athletic pitcher. Sonny Gray knew exactly what to do with the ball. He didn't panic, caught the baseball, emotions under control, a strike right over the top of the bag. Check this out. That's how you get out of tough innings.
Well, one more tough out to go. Cleanup hitter and third baseman Mike Moustakas, 26 home runs, 60 runs batted in for the longtime Kansas City Royal. You may remember when the year began, they had moved Moustakas over to second base to get Travis Shaw regular playing time at third. The third base now belongs to Moustakas. Again, where he was in Kansas City for so long, because Shaw has just struggled so mightily, even down in AAA where he's been for quite some time. Rooting for that young man to get it back together.
Highly competitive kid. Last 2 years he was a mainstay right in the heart of this Brewer order, and you just wonder if the injury issue was there before he actually went on the injured list, and you have to wonder in the back of your mind, is he actually healthy now?
Three balls and no strikes on Moustakas.
Well, you've got a guy on deck that's 1 for 15.
Yep.
I know that's probably right where you were going.
Yeah, he's waiting on deck, and I'm surprised they'd even throw him a strike here, 3-0. And they won't.
That's one of those pitches for Sonny Gray where maybe in the back of your mind you're thinking, okay, I want to get Moustakas out away later in the ball game. You know you're going to throw 4 pitches. You bring him in off the plate, really try to think and make him think in his mind you're going to try to pound him in and use that for later in the ball game, when in actuality that hole at bat was about facing this guy.
Now, a year ago, you may not have made that decision.
No.
Because this guy was one of the most feared sluggers in all of Major League Baseball. He was just extraordinary last year. 35 home runs and 108 runs batted in. And also, by the way, a rock-solid .274 batting average. This year, he's lost his job as the regular first baseman, but starting to tune it up just before the All-Star break, but only 8 home runs and 34 batted in. And that one almost hit him.
Most big hitters, big fellas, they want to get their arms extended. They want to be able to cover the ball that's out over the plate. Aguilar's no different. You're trying to rush him hard in and make him chase that breaking ball that you can actually start in and drop it down underneath the strike zone.
25th pitch of the inning for Sonny Gray, and he's going to get out of it unscathed. How about that? 2 on, nobody out. End of 1. No score. Yasiel Puig to lead things off. Scoreless game in the Cincinnati second inning. He's our IGS bringing the energy. This guy likes facing the Brewers. Take a look. Among all Major League players against Milwaukee the last 2.5 years, including here in 19 with the Reds, almost a .400 batter. Look at that slugging percentage. Mercy. An RBI every 3 at-bats. They'll try and get that going against Chase Anderson, coming off a perfect first inning tonight. Ball 1 to Puig.
Let's see if he can turn around his numbers against Anderson, because he is 2 for 17 lifetime against Chase Anderson. One of those a long far one.
And that's probably a big reason why. One to Yasiel, and way out in front again of an all-speed pitch, chipped it off the end of the bat.
And I think both of those swings go back to the first pitch. It was a fastball right under the lips of Yasiel Puig. You establish in, you're not hitting a guy, you're not throwing it at his head, you're speeding up his eyes. Makes the breaking ball and change up that much more effective later in the count.
Two and 2 on Puig, and a fastball up and in again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Peraza batting in the number 5 hole tonight. He's due up next, and then it will be Phillip Ervin.
And Peraza's been swinging it.
Yep.
He's been making quite the solid contact lately.
How about that at bat by Puig? And he sprints up to first base after drawing a leadoff walk. Puig, the team's leading base stealer, 13 of those in 17 attempts. And here is Peraza. He failed to extend the hitting streak to 9 in a row yesterday, taking the collar nothing of 4. But nonetheless, as Cowboy mentioned, you go back to his last 35 games, and Peraza's a .312 batter. He's gotten better and better after just a terrible start in both March/April and in the month of May. Anderson, originally drafted in the 9th round by Arizona in 2009, made his major league debut with the Diamondbacks in 14, pitched for him in 15, and then a part of a really big deal and the biggest name in that trade. Gene Segura. There's a liner into left field, caught for the first out of the inning. Won 9 games with the Brewers in 16, then in 17 just had an outstanding year. 12-4 record, ERA at 2.7. Now again, as Cowboy brought up earlier, he's not a guy that's going to pitch 6 innings generally in any start. So, you know, in his 25 starts, he pitched 141 innings. And last year gave you a little bit better than that. 9-8 record, ERA at 3.9 and 158 innings. He won't get anywhere near that this year.
A lot of his time early he spent in the bullpen. And maybe that is a plan by the Brewers so that he can start on good rest and good energy as you head into the second half. You get a lot of starting pitchers that you hit into July, start to begin in August. For a guy that is making a start every 5th day, they have a tendency to kind of slack off a little bit. Guys that just don't have that overpowering stuff. Well, having to only pitch 5 innings, 5+ innings for Chase Anderson, it really just allows him to go out. You dial it up. You bring your best from pitch number 1 until they're going to take you out of the ball game in the 5th, maybe into the 6th, and the bullpen takes over. That has really been the Brewer game plan.
In there, a strike to Phillip Ervin. 35 games, 347 batter.
You can say all you want. Well, I need my starters to go 7. I need them to go 6. I've got to have a guy. Look, you deal with what you've got, and you make the best of it. And right now, that's what the Brewers are having to do. And there are a lot of teams in baseball having to do that.
Ervin accounting for the lone Cincinnati run yesterday in a 3-1 loss to the Cardinals with a pinch hit home run in the 8th inning. His 2nd home run. Came against Mr. Miller. Puig running, and Ervin dumps it foul off to the first base side out of play. Still 0-2.
There are many hitters that have a bit of a reminder to try to keep their swing short or the front shoulder closed. You remember Matt Williams when you were with the Diamondbacks. He used to lick the front sleeve of his jersey to remind himself to keep that front shoulder closed. You watch Irvin, he taps the bat on the back of his shoulder, reminds him to stay nice and short from the hands, from the shoulder, straight to the baseball. Now that pitch there a year ago is a swing and miss or a ground ball, and it's a problem. But what that short swing has allowed Phillip Ervin to do is wait just that split second longer to recognize the off-speed pitch, and it has not hurt him on the fastball.
Ball and 2 strikes on Urban. Runner goes again. Pitch taking a ball. Throw to second, and Puig is out. Anderson gave him a chance, and Grandal with an excellent throw.
Yasiel did not quite get the jump that he had on the pitch that Irvin fouled off. This was a breaking ball up. It gives a little bit of an advantage to Grandal so he can come out of the crouch quickly. And he puts a throw right on the money.
So that's a second out of the inning. And now Urban is swinging a miss, and that's a third out of the inning. 3 strikeouts early on for Anderson.
It's been back and forth in this season series, Reds versus the Brewers. Brewers won the first 3. Reds win 3 of the next 4. Brewers win the next 3, and then Reds have won the last 3, so back and forth we go. The Reds hope to change the tide in this series and continue their winning against the Brew Crew.
That was a big series when the Reds swept Milwaukee. I think it got so many of us and so many of you watching at home tonight excited that the Reds were getting back in this thing. Truly, a part of this chase of the National League Central. Unfortunately, after finishing strong right before the break, things have not carried into the mythical second half, losing series 2 of 3 to Chicago, after 2 of 3 to Colorado, and then the 3 of 4 most recently over the weekend to St. Louis.
Yeah, I think at one point you were looking at from the bottom of the division to the top of the division, we're separated by about 4.5 games.
Yep. Thames on the ground, and from short right field, Peraza throws him out. But I mean, David Bell was asked about it yesterday after the game. He said clearly it's not where we want to be, but he still believes this team has a chance to make some noise and find a way to get back in it. It would behoove the Reds to begin that pursuit tonight.
And the hitting for the Reds has been better, but where they had such a lockdown bullpen early in the season, that's where the Reds have faltered. Injuries always play a big part of those kinds of things, and the fact that the Reds had to use a lot of bullpen innings early in the season.
Yep. They did make a roster move earlier today. For those of you that may not have heard, the final pitch that Tyler Mahle threw in his last start, I know some of you remember, we showed you the replay over and over, where he was noticeably favoring his left hamstring walking off the field. He goes on the injured list today. And look who's back. Sal Romano. Lucas Sims, who has thrown the ball so well, down to AAA and in only a couple of games at a big league level. There's a liner to center off the bat of Arcia for out number 2. He will get the start here in the final game. Will Sims on Wednesday afternoon for Mahle. Looking forward to seeing Sims again. His first start was incredible. I mean, well, let me back that up. It would have been incredible had he not allowed the final batter he faced in the 8th inning to hit a grand slam. The Reds were blowing him out. He's working on a shutout. And then, he gave up the home run and they took him out. But he pitched great.
He was worn out, and the Reds were just trying to get him through that inning because they had such a big lead. The numbers belie the performance because the performance was spectacular. Heck, he had a no-hitter for the longest time in that ball game.
Yep. And now he's thrown the ball twice over the weekend out of the bullpen and threw the ball again very, very well. That game yesterday allowed a leadoff triple, the very first batter he faced.
Didn't phase him.
And the runner did not score. So we'll see him on Wednesday. 2 down in the inning for Saladino. He was playing in place of Arcia when we saw him in Cincinnati. Arcia had slipped into the Craig Counsell doghouse, and that is not a comfortable doghouse.
I don't think you ever want to be in the manager's doghouse. That's called riding the bench.
And Counsell could live with the offensive ups and downs of Arcia, but he was put on the bench because of the defensive ups and downs. Don't miss Senior Day, presented by Humana at the ballpark. July the 31st, the Reds take on the Pirates. Fans 50 and older can get half-price tickets and free same-day admission to the newly renovated Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. For tickets, visit Reds.com. Some restrictions may apply, but we'll look forward to having you out there. Green Bay Packer t-shirt there, Cowboy. Your old Mississippi guy, Brett Favre, for so long. Southern Miss.
Gunslinger.
Like Brett Favre.
And he could sling it. He was.
I love that guy.
Game on.
Man, guy's the ultimate gamer. Of course, they have not too bad a quarterback now, but man, love watching Favre. That's the kind of guy you want on your team. Favre. Here's Iglesias, scoreless game. We begin the Reds' 3rd inning. I'm telling you, man, whether it's a Brewers game and the parking lot they have, I don't know what it is or why it is. Maybe just because it's so big and it surrounds the stadium. But I don't know if there's anywhere in baseball, football, some in Kansas City might argue. And Kansas City's a great venue. But Lambeau Field, and then you throw in the University of Wisconsin Badgers. I'm telling you, man, for tailgating and having a good time.
They do that here.
That's what I'm saying. There's a bucket list out there, man. I'm telling you, Wisconsin's a spot.
We're pulling in on the bus. Guys, you can see the cookout. The smoke coming out, out in the parking lot.
I mean, they do it right, man. Here's Gratterall. Chase Anderson has 3 strikeouts, has only allowed 1 base runner, and still only 1 base runner with 2 outs in the inning. Boys and Girls Club, such a great organization. And the Big Sand Volleyball Classic coming up on August 10th to benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati. Co-ed teams of 6 welcome to compete. Register today at bgcgc.com/events. And you know what? Even if you don't play volleyball, if you're looking for a group to get involved with, spend some time. Big brothers, big sisters, good stuff. Strike 1 to Sonny Gray. Anderson takes it off the body, and Sonny Gray is going to reach safely.
Well, Anderson reaches for the ball. It hits off of his glove, kind of out in the middle and out of the glove. But once that ball rolls past that dirt on the mound, you can forget about it. Even with the pitcher running.
So Gray picks up the base hit, 2-out base runner, and the Reds have used him to pinch run a couple of times this year. Cowboy mentioned earlier, good athlete, runs well. He's a void for Senzel, who was called out on strikes his first time up.
A lot of fastballs in on the right-handers early, at least the first time through the lineup by the right-hander Chase Anderson. And that has really set up the breaking ball, both curve and slider. That was a changeup up and in. I don't think he wanted it up and in. It just happened to be there.
Anderson throwing the ball very well here early on tonight.
Very aggressive.
2-0 on Senzel, looking for something to drive here. Under the knees, 3-0. Votto waiting on deck, hoping for a chance with a couple of runners on here in the Cincinnati third of a scoreless game. 4-pitch walk to Senzel. Two walks in a game now for Anderson.
Maybe he ran out of breath chasing that.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth.
Got to regroup a little bit. Not exactly the part of the order that you want to have to be regrouping. We were talking about Votto being down on the end of the bat. I think a lot of that is trying to get a little bit more leverage as he swings the bat. That leverage allows you a little bit more sting when the ball comes off the bat.
Well, big chance here for Joey. 2 on and 2 out. Gray dancing around out there, and he's taken off for third base. And I am sure that Votto is probably not all that happy about what just happened. And you know what? I can't blame him. I mean, look at him. Where is Sonny Gray going with 2 outs in the inning?
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Time now for our T-Mobile connection to the game. Narcisco Crook, congratulations to him. Named International League Player of the Week. Look at the numbers. Outstanding. Nick Lodolo, who was the Reds' first-round pick this summer, promoted to Dayton today, and they announced he will start Thursday night for the Dragons, and a pretty good start in rookie ball to his pro career. And Jonathan India, who was the first-round pick last year, promoted to Double-A today, having it safely in 9 of his last 10 games. So that's updating you down on the farm in our T-Mobile connection to the game.
Jim Day, I would imagine you are far more comfortable here tonight with these temperatures and what you had to endure down by the Reds dugout the last 4 days.
No question. It's beautiful. I mean, this is postcard type of night here.
You got a big league seat down there?
It's okay. I like coming
You're near
here
the end, right?
I'm at the end, yeah. I'm kind of buried behind the camera here. It's not that.
I thought you said you had that air-conditioned fan in Cincinnati down where you were at.
Oh, no. It's basically a concrete oven.
It's all right. You ought to have a little tinfoil or something down there around you. Soak up some rays.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, Cowboy, I want to go back to what just happened here a minute ago. You know, I mean, I asked the question, you know, where was Sonny Gray going? How did you read that play? And for those of you that weren't with us, first and second, Votto coming up, 2 outs in the inning. Gray, the runner at second, takes off as if to steal third base.
Well, as I mentioned early in the ball game, Sonny Gray is a very good athlete. The pitcher never looked back. Well, once he was there, it appeared as though the Reds were running not only Sonny Gray but also Nick Senzel, trying to put the runners in motion to try to get 2 runs out of a base hit with Votto at the plate. Now, if you have a batter at the plate that is a legit home run hitter that hits the ball out of the ballpark with regularity, you don't have to do that. If you've got a guy at the plate that is a singles hitter, you're trying to get the most runs with 1 swing of the bat. That's what happened.
Pretty evident Votto was not happy.
Well, there's no secret that Votto does not like guys. He did not like Billy Hamilton running when he was at the plate. He didn't like movement on the field when he was trying to hit. Hey, it's baseball. You're trying to score runs. Sometimes you just have to adapt as the game moves along. It's not the same as it was when Votto first came to the big leagues. It's a different ball game now.
I don't know if he's making reference to.
I think he's still upset.
Yeah, I mean, you could read his lips as plain as day. He basically said, "What is that?" 1 away in the inning.
The Reds are not a team, nor have they been a team from the game 1 of this 2019 season that could sit out and slug home runs and score 7 or 8 runs a ball game by not trying to do something different. I credit David Bell with trying to make something happen.
You know, everybody's different. Doesn't make one guy right, one guy wrong. I remember the one big slugger that I remember ever just coming out and saying, I love when guys are running when I'm at the plate, is when Pujols was in his heyday with St. Louis. For whatever reason, he said, I think it's great. Nothing at 2 on Lorenzo Cain. He singled to right field on a 2-strike pitch his first time up. But this time Gray puts him away on a 2-strike pitch.
Did not go back away with that breaking ball that he flipped into right the first time. He comes hard in with a power sinker.
First strikeout in the game for Sonny Gray, and now Yelich. He walked his first time up. Scoreless game, last of a third. Night game tomorrow night, afternoon tilt on Wednesday, and then the Reds are right back home. This is only a 3-game road trip, and a lengthy homestand will open on Friday night. Colorado coming in, Pirates will follow them. Then the Reds only go away for 4 games in Atlanta, turn right back around, and will host the Angels and the Cubbies. So a lot of home dates coming up. Lined into right center field, and a fall and a hit for Yelich. And he thought about it momentarily after a hard turn, but throws on the brakes. 2-out singles, second hit for Milwaukee.
A lot of fastballs in the first at bat for Christian Yelich, although he drew a walk in that at bat. He gets another fastball in. This one leaks back over the inside part of the plate just enough where he can get the barrel to it.
Rondal bounced into a huge double play in that first inning. That's after Kane had singled and Yelich had walked to begin the first inning. And then a sharp one-hopper right back to the pitcher, and Gray started the double play. Brewers would strand 2 runners in that first inning. Down the right field line towards the corner. And that is up against the wall on his way to third. Yelich. And a throw by Puig comes to the middle of the infield. And it's 1-0 Milwaukee. Yasmani Grandal, a 2-out double.
I don't know that the Reds stop the runner Yelich from scoring, even if Puig hits the cutoff man. He got to the ball quickly, and it did not appear that he got a great grip on the ball as he threw towards home plate. The ball really had a lot of tailing action. You don't normally see that with the throw of Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Cowboy. Even if he hits Votto right between the numbers there, Yelich can fly. All right, so the Brewers jump in front with 2-out noise, a single and a double, and here's Moustakas. Ball 1. He walked his first time up. And we might see him do the same thing again here. Moustakas has not seen a strike from Sonny Gray. That was the proverbial pitch around his first time up to take their chances with Aguilar, with a runner at third and 2 outs in the inning.
And you're really in the same spot here.
Yeah. This looked like a snappy 1-2-3 chance anyway for Gray again here in the third inning. Before the single by Yelich, a double by Grandal. 3-1 now on Moustakas, and the pitch count up to 52 for Gray now in the third inning. Three and two.
I love that pitch right there, that backdoor slider, especially after the fastball for a strike inside. 3-1. Moustakas is looking to launch. Anything that starts off the plate, he doesn't commit. The ball came right back to the corner.
Runner takes off. Fly ball to center, will retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, end of 3. Brewers lead 1-0. Reds baseball always live with MLB at Bat. Follow the action and download the MLB at Bat today, your #1 app for the Cincinnati Reds. Yes, indeed. Bernie's dugout out there, Cowboy. You ever gone down that slide up there? You ever thought about wanting to go down that slide?
I've had too many surgeries to go down that slide.
Yeah, but you're all good now.
Yeah,
well, you're like the bionic man.
I want to stay good.
I still want to do that. I was hoping my dad was going to do that on this trip. It's not too late. I think he'd do it. What do you think?
That thing whips out there a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it's out over the seats and not.
I hear you. I've often thought the same thing looking up there. But I mean, Bernie Brewer does it every night, so.
I do like roller coasters, but I'm not real sure about that slide.
I'm going to see if I can talk my dad into going up there tomorrow. Jim Day, have you ever been on the slide up there, Bernie Brewer's dugout?
No. I'd do it, though.
You would? All right, well, maybe we'll see. I mean, Cowboy, if I get my dad to do it and Jim Day will do it and I'll do it, I mean, will you go up there with us, at least hang out?
I'll do it.
Okay.
If you guys do it, I'll do it.
All right. Well, we're going to look into that. I should ask Michelle Council, Craig Council's wife. She was just in here. If anybody had any pull around here, it's not going to be me. It'd be her.
They've tightened it up, though, in recent years. You used to be able to get up there easily. Now you have to get permission. And
yeah. That's why I said probably start with her. She's a lot nicer than her husband. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reds down a run, and it remains 3-2 on Suarez. Well, you know, Cowboy, you and I were talking to Michelle in between innings. Michelle Council, Craig Council's wife, going back to, she was at Marquette, he was at Notre Dame a long time ago, straight up in the air. And Aguilar underneath it for the first out. You know, it's no different than growing up in a neighborhood. You know, you grow up in and around the game of baseball in some form or fashion. And if you're lucky enough to be somewhere for an extended period of time, you get to know everybody's families, or at least some of the families, and obviously some far better than others,
right?
Because not everybody's around for a long time. And golly dang, my wife and his wife, very good friends, and our kids, first 2 kids were born the exact same year. And here we are, both of them. You know, we both have juniors in high school and freshmen in high school, and you just can't believe how the time goes.
Looking at that driver's license is what they're looking at.
That's right. Herb Brady is already driving, and our Ella getting her license tomorrow. Amen.
That is a day that you will remember financially, because your insurance is going to go through the roof.
I'll tell you what, though, man, when you're that 16-year-old,
I know,
that's the greatest day ever. The ultimate freedom, or at least some form of it. Nothing better.
The only problem with having that freedom and that driver's license, and you can run, get in the car, drive, you know, when the family's having stuffed banana peppers and you want fried chicken, you can get in the car and go get some fried chicken. But you got to fill it up with gas.
Well, that's the deal.
That ain't cheap.
Well, that's why, you know, we told her you better find a job this summer, because that car does not run on grass you dump into that little tank from the backyard. So she gets it. We'll see how long she gets it.
She'll get it.
Or not get it. There's a pop-up foul ground again.
Where it really sets in is when they go out to crank the car up, and that baby's sitting right on E. And they come back in and they say, the car needs some gas. No. Do you have any money? Well, no, I spent it. Well, then you're not going anywhere.
That's right. Ignition off.
There's a bicycle hanging up in the garage.
Garcia has a cannon. And what a pick at the other end by Aguilar. Boy, that's nicely done on both ends. Was not an easy play by the shortstop. And his errant throw snatched out of there by the big man.
Ball was hit hard. Took a tough hop on Arcia, but he's able to stop it. And the key to that whole play was the long hop to Aguilar. If that's a short hop, you got a problem. Or an in-between hop, I should say. Just long enough for the big fella to make the catch.
Talked about Arcia was in, he was in a tough spot with his manager. There's a little pop-up that might fall. What an effort by Saladino, but he can't get it. And that'll be a blue single by Peraza. The second Reds hit of the night, the other by Sonny Gray.
Saladino would have probably needed a cape to be able to catch that one. But you can't argue with the effort, though.
Irvin struck out his first time up. And this one hammered. If it's fair, the Reds will take the lead. And it is foul. Goodness gracious. Well, he jumped all over that pitch, didn't he?
I think Grandal wanted that fastball in. Crept out over the plate a little bit. And Irvin hit it a ton, but he was just a tad early.
Couldn't catch up with that high heater there, and it's 0-2.
It's amazing the difference of the high fastball versus the previous pitch that was down. You run into that bit of an uppercut swing when the ball is up. It seems like that little bit of uppercut, you're just a bit behind.
And that strike three call. 95 on the outside corner. Brewers lead 1-0.
Reds historical moment, July 22nd, 2012, Cincinnati's own Barry Larkin inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 19 seasons with the Reds, 12-time All-Star, 1995 NL MVP, 9 Silver Slugger Awards, 3 Gold Gloves, and later that same year the Reds would retire his number 11 and also the teammate of the Cowboy.
Born and raised Barry Larkin, Cincinnati Moeller High. And Cowboy, I know you love playing with Barry Larkin.
Yeah, you hear the term all the time describing everyday players. Well, this guy takes plays off, or this guy takes pitches off. Not Larkin, never.
One hop off the wall by Jesus Aguilar, and the big fella rumbling into second base.
Ball stays up and out. I don't think that's where Sonny Gray wanted that pitch. But going back to Larkin, Tom, tremendous physical tools, but Barry Larkin was a thinking man's player. And watching him, the way he positioned himself according to the pitcher that was on the mound, the way he took his at-bats at the plate, depending on the situation on the field, he could hit the ball down the right field line. He could very well take you deep out of left field. He just played the game the right way. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he played the game of life the right way, too. His mom and dad, and look, there are so many parents out there that are watching this game right now, and all of you have done the same. His mom and dad did just such an incredible job raising those kids. I mean, his brother Byron's one of my favorite people in the whole town. All-American Xavier University, and now he is, of course, the radio along with Joe Sunderman.
Byron,
broadcast
Stephen, and
team.
Barry.
Yep, that's right. down the right field line and out of play. Of course, Michael was a team captain, linebacker at Notre Dame in football. I mean, Mom and Dad, well done.
Can you imagine having 4 boys this day and age playing all those sports and trying to travel and catch up with them? Oh, my goodness.
Not you and I were talking about that in between innings, how that whole travel ball thing is. It's just changed so much. Gone swinging on a high fastball is Thames. Let's take a look at Thames on a swing here a minute ago. Shoulder or something like that. Of course, that guy's got muscles popping out of every piece of skin.
He's got muscles popping out of muscles. That's one of those reactions where you're not really sure if Thames was mad that he missed the pitch and pulled it foul, or if he was upset that something happened with the shoulder.
Yeah, because at first I thought it was that he missed the pitch.
Yeah.
Ball one on Arcia with a runner at second. Aguilar a double to begin the inning.
Because when Thames hit that ball, he started the abbreviated home run trot. Instead of running down the line, he started back towards the first base dugout.
Three 3-0 on Arcia. Saladino, the number 8 hitter, due up next. That ball caught off the end of the bat there. He did not hammer that pitch. And he can hammer a pitch if he squares it up. But that's out number 2 in the inning. Milwaukee with back-to-back 2-out hits in the third inning. A single by Yelich. He would score from first on a double down the right field line by Grandal, the only run of this game. Saladino in very limited playing time, only 55 plate appearances, has a total of 6 base hits.
And this is a spot for Sonny Gray, even though you do have a runner at second base and Saladino is a normal position player. If you're Sonny Gray, you're trying to get this guy right now so you have the pitcher leading off the following inning. You have to think ahead.
Saladino says, well, hold on a minute now. I hit the big grand slam in their victory over the Diamondbacks yesterday.
Then that would make me feel even better if I'm Sonny Gray. He's got his home run out of the year. He's got his grand slam out of the way. I'm going right at him.
That was his only home run and his only 4 RBIs. And then you hit him on a 2-1 pitch.
That one took off a bit. You can see Gratterall set inside, and that one started on the inside corner and just sailed in on the hands.
Trainer and the manager out to have a look at him. It's where guys can get seriously hurt. All those small bones on the hand, fingers. He's all right. Tells them both to hit the road.
Now that handshake with the trainer is not like congratulations for getting hit, getting on first base. That handshake is to test the hamstring of the guy that just got hit. If you can squeeze it, you're all right. If you give me a little dead fish handshake, you're coming out.
You know, the first base coach over there, Carlos Subero, that's the way you used to wear your hair. Every time I see him, I think of you back with the Giants. There's a check swing roller foul.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the orange Oakleys.
Well, it's nighttime. Maybe he just decided not to put them on.
I'm at nighttime. That's my point.
The way you used to have it, though, the long, flowing curls and locks.
Sweet lid right there. Oh, here we go. I knew it.
Take a look at that. How sweet is that? Can you believe that's you?
No. Neither can my son. Daddy, who's this on your baseball card? Unfortunately, that is me, son.
Wow, what do you mean, unfortunately?
Well, it doesn't look real good today.
Well, I think it looks good.
I thought it looked great at the time.
I know you did. I think it still looks good. 0-2 on the pitcher Anderson, trying to get out of the inning. Sonny Gray, and a breaking ball blocked beautifully by Gratterall. Now, you know, I mean, this one you had the mullet going, but there were times you wore it a little longer now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'd probably just gotten a haircut.
Two balls and two strikes. Big pitch coming up here for Sonny Gray, trying to keep it a 1-0 game. And he got him looking to retire the side. 1-0 Brewers. We go to the fifth. Let's take one more look. Enjoy this as we go to break. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Ford. Go further. By Kroger, easy to place your order online and pick it up at the store. Try it today at Kroger.com. And by Gilkey Window, family owned since 1978. Still time to sign your son or daughter up for the official Reds baseball and softball camps presented by United Healthcare. Campers get their own uniforms, special instructions from a Red coach. There'll be appearances by current Reds players, so much more. Register today at Reds.com/camps. A lot of Reds fans here. In fact, I was just talking to some in between a commercial break. They have a walkway to the second deck right underneath our booth. And normally a lot of Reds fans make it here to Milwaukee. Yeah. This is an easy town to come to. It's a nice place. It's easy to get around. You're not going to pay a fortune for a hotel room if you bring your family up. Not a lot of traffic. Go down to the lake. They have lots of things to do for the kids, couples, whatever. It's a nice place. Straight up in the air. Off the bat of Iglesias on the first pitch from Anderson in the fifth. And let's see what else is going on around baseball. Let's send it back to Jeff Picoro in Cincinnati. Hiya, Pick. How about that? Edwin. Here's Gratterall with Sonny Gray due up next.
You know, a lot more fastballs than I would have thought coming into this ball game from Chase Anderson. And not only a lot of fastballs, but he's been really good with them. He got a first pitch out there of Iglesias on a fastball in. The first 2 pitches to Gratterall here have been fastballs.
And he's tardy on another one. Down the right field line. Unable to get there, Thames. In fact, all 4 of his strikeouts in this game have come via the fastball. Thames wasn't going to get there.
No.
Ball and 2 strikes on Gratterall. And lined softly over the head of the second baseman in the right center field. A base hit by Juan Gratterall, his second hit since joining the Reds 4 games ago.
4 straight fastballs in that at bat, and that one Anderson left over the plate a bit. Wasn't scalded, but it found outfield grass. Good enough for me.
All right, so now let's see if the Reds can get something started. I mean, they get one guy on, and you're starting to think maybe. You know, unfortunately, outside of the leadoff walk to Puig in the second, the other 2 base runners until now have come with 2 outs in an inning. Gray had a hit off the glove of the pitcher his first time up. Squares around and takes a strike.
Just bunt the ball at the big fella holding the runner at first base.
That's what he does, but the catcher will beat the big fella to it. And Sonny Gray with a sacrifice, his 7th. By far best on the team. In fact, without even looking, he might have more than all of the other starting pitchers combined. Take a look here real quick.
And this is his first year in a National League uniform.
You got Castillo. That's 5. Malley, 8, 9. The other 4 have 9 collectively. Right now is 7.
I go back to my first inning comment. Kid's a good athlete.
So that's a tying run out there in scoring position. And here's Senzel. 0 for 1, struck out, and drew a walk his last time. And there's another fastball in there, a strike.
Right at the top of the strike zone. Senzel definitely did not like this. You can see him throw his hand in the air. Senzel does a really good job of hitting the ball from second base to the right field line. There are times you'll see him pull a ball occasionally, but he really stays on top of the ball to shoot the ball the other way, and that allows him a chance to wait just a little bit longer and take those bad breaking balls.
Two and one the count on Senzel. Gratterall out at second, carrying the tying run here in the 5th. And Anderson comes back with a fastball. Cowboy, you brought it up a couple of times already. We've seen Chase Anderson pitch a lot of games. This is the best we've seen him, or at least I can remember seeing him with his fastball in a game. And he's got enough on it.
And he's coming off probably his best ball game all year long against Atlanta, where he pitched 5 2/3, only gave up 1 hit, didn't allow a run. He hadn't allowed a run here tonight.
71 pitches in the game, and we're in the 5th inning with 2 outs. 2-2 to Senzel. Base hit into left field. Are they going to try to score? Gratterall, no. So he will stop at third. Senzel with a base hit, and here comes Votto.
First baseman, number 19, Joey Votto.
We got a breaking ball there, didn't it, Cowboy?
He went back-to-back fastballs close to Senzel. And when you've been able to lay off the breaking ball on consecutive pitches, throw one fastball for a strike, the next one I'm ready.
All right, big chance for Votto. He clearly was very upset with what happened his last trip to the plate. If you weren't with us, Reds had runners at first and second base, and they took off running. And Votto knew it was a pitcher out there, Gray. I mean, we can only assume, that he was trying to protect that runner when he saw out of the corner of his eye, and he swung and hit a lazy fly ball to right, threw his hands in the air, was clearly very upset even after he came out to the field defensively. Upset about exactly what? We don't know. He could have been upset with himself that he didn't hit the pitch hard. It's always a benefit of a doubt on that kind of thing. Doesn't necessarily mean he was angry at anybody running, but it looked that way.
I think the Brewers are having a little trouble deciding who's going to play where. Mike Moustakas is moving all over the place.
Oh, and 2 on Votto. And what does he do? He lines it into center field. They can't put anybody there, and Votto delivers with a base hit to tie the game. On an 0-2 pitch.
And that was another fastball from Chase Anderson. And it leaks out over the plate. That is much too good of a pitch with 2 outs and 2 strikes to a batter like Joey Votto.
Chris Hook is the pitching coach, first year after taking over for Derek Johnson. Cowboy pointed out earlier that Votto has gone back to a stance we saw, quite a few years ago. Jim Day?
Yeah, I talked to Joey before the game about it, and he had some interesting quotes that he gave to the Cincinnati Enquirer about his numbers this year. He said, there's no reason for me to play like this. I have to make several adjustments to get back to what I think is an acceptable level of play. I'm still working on them. I thought they were solved, but it turns out that I was just wrong. I thought they were solved, and I was wrong. So I asked him about last few games. Not choking up anymore. He says, yes, I'm definitely tinkering. The goal is for the ball to come off the bat harder. It's not been coming off the bat hard enough, and it's nothing new for him. He's spent the majority of his career not choking up as much as we've seen him the last couple of years. And I got to tell you, he took some early BP today, and the ball was rocketing off his bat that I haven't seen in the last few seasons.
All right, Jimbo, thank you. Two 2-0 on Eugenio Suarez with Senzel out at second. Votto, the run batted in to tie the game at 1.
Boy, this is a dangerous spot to have to face Suarez. That fastball at 2-0, he is usually all over it. And he gets the hook.
And we might be seeing what we've seen a lot of from Chase Anderson, where roughly about this time of the game or not too far beyond it.
Shuttered.
Yep. They'll get him out of the game, man. They don't have anybody getting loose right now. They're figuring he's trying to get the final out in this inning. Votto down there screaming at Suarez, cheering him on to deliver a big hit here. Votto quite animated down there at first base during this Suarez at bat, continuing to yell at his teammate in a positive way. Three and two. See how good he's been when you put runners in scoring position at 2 outs in an inning, and the Reds are certainly going against the grain there. 2 of 3. And those have been the last 2 hitters. Now the runners get started. Senzel and Votto. 2 outs, 3-2 on Suarez. Here it comes. Strike 3 called. Wednesday, an all-new episode of Reds Weekly. His season started on a minor league deal. Jose Iglesias has become a regular. Plus, a Reds fantasy camper with an incredible story of courage and perseverance. It's an all-new Reds Weekly. Great show. Wednesday, 6:30 here on Fox Sports Ohio. 1-1 game. Brewers bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sonny Gray has allowed a run on 4 base hits, 2 out hits in the 3rd inning. Producing their only run, a single by Yelich, a double by Grandal. Sonny's been on the ropes in 3 of the 4 innings. 2 innings they didn't score, they stranded 2. And in 3 of the innings total, they've stranded 5. His only perfect inning was the 2nd inning. Gained a single and struck out. Balls, 2 strikes to Sonny Gray against Lorenzo Cain. Pitches piling up early tonight for Gray. This will be his 80th pitch, and he's trying to get his first out in the 5th inning. Strike 3 called on Cain. That high strike has been called tonight pretty regularly by the home plate umpire, Pat Hoberg.
It has been a very big strike zone. That pitch has been a strike all night. The crazy part about that, and I'm sure the late call by Pat Hoberg, a result of this, that ball really broke late. That's the pitch that if you decide to go to an automated strike zone, hitters will never get a hit. You can throw breaking balls at the top of the strike zone all day long. And it starts up in the clouds and then just barely clips that line at the top. Well, you talk about shutting down offense.
And that's a strike. And it should be called a strike. I don't know whether that box tells us or not, but I mean, if you want to keep this game moving along and not have a bunch of guys standing there and walking on every borderline pitch, and put balls in play and make batters swing the bat, it'll be a far more exciting game. 1-1 to Yelich. Fouled out of play, third base side. Now, you're a pitcher, so maybe a stupid question to say, do you agree? But do you agree?
Yes, I like to watch batters swing. I'm on the other side of the fence now. I'm a fan. I like to watch action. Now, I like to watch pitchers work quick. I like guys to get in the box and let's play some ball. And I think every fan that comes to the ballpark would tell you the same thing.
Yep. Boy, that's a venomous breaking ball right there, and that just wore out Yelich. First time Sonny's retired him. 5 strikeouts in the game.
Well, this is the proper response, and this is what you want as a manager. You get a run on the board, you've tied the ball game. You've started to move some momentum back towards the third base dugout, but your pitcher has to go back out and be on the attack. You can create momentum for your club on the mound. It doesn't just take offense, but you do it by getting after it.
All right, 2 down in the inning, and here's Grandal, who knocked in the only Milwaukee run with a double off the right field wall his last time up. We mentioned Grandal, a former #1 pick out of Miami by the Reds. So too was the player before him a year prior, and that of course was Yonder Alonso, a #1 pick by the Reds out of the University of Miami. And then those two, along with Edinson Volquez and Brad Boxberger, were packaged up in a trade for Matt Latos. Those 4 going to San Diego, and of course they've all left the Padres with stops in between where they are now.
They've all had some pretty good careers.
Yeah. Boxberger with some time in Arizona, then became an All-Star in Tampa. Grandal, an All-Star with both the Dodgers and now the Brewers, and of course Yonder Alonso has been an All-Star. A couple of different teams, 3 different teams, well, maybe 4 now, right? He spent time with San Diego, the White Sox now, Seattle, right?
Yeah,
and Oakland.
I think the White Sox just cut him loose. I think he's in AAA with the Colorado Rockies.
And he had time in Oakland as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a 3-1 on Grandal. Back up through the middle. Circling, making the play. Good throw. Good strong throw by Iglesias, and an excellent response hitting after his team ties the game by Gray.
Miller Lite. Look forward to our Miller Lite hold true moment later in tonight's game. Juan Granderol behind the plate for the Reds. A lot of questions about Tucker Barnhart. He is with the team on this trip in the clubhouse as we speak. But all signs, who worked before the game, again on the field, and all signs point to him starting a rehab stint on Thursday with Louisville. And some new information today. Right now they have him scheduled for 4 rehab games on schedule. That could change. He did it on a left-handed swing in the cage on a follow-through, and that's where they've been working out the pain on that left-handed swing. And finally doesn't feel any discomfort at all when he swings in such manner, and ready to rock and roll. Hopefully it'll be 4 games and back with the big club. They need him.
Indeed. And, Jim Day, I want to get another update from you. You updated us on everything going on with some of the bigger names in the minor leagues and some of the ongoings down on the farm. As Puig leads off the Reds 6th in a 1-1 game. He's behind 0-2. What about Alex Wood? You've been following that story closely.
Yeah, Alex Wood, when they were talking about Malley missing a start and Lucas Sims going for him on Wednesday, they were asked, okay, well, what will happen the next time around? And they said it'll either be Sims again, Alex Wood, or Malley returning. Alex Wood is making another rehab start. I believe he's going tonight.
Yes, that's right. Chattanooga, yes. Yep.
So let me check on that real quick, Tom. We'll get right back to you.
I mean, a lot to follow, and Cowboys, Jim Day's all over each and every story. It's hard to keep track of everything going on.
Yeah, there's been a lot of moves going on here lately, especially in the catching category. And it hasn't just been the Reds. There have been some other teams that have had some catching issues as well. You start getting guys throwing the ball 100 miles an hour, the impact on the guys behind the plate has become even more so critical.
Hot smash by Puig on an 0-2 pitch into left center field. He's digging hard. Here he comes into second base. And how about Puig? He caught Yelich napping out there a little bit. I mean, that's a single all the way. And Yelich figuring no way he's going. And how about Yasiel Puig?
Well, you've got a right-handed thrower on this smash. He's got to move towards left center field. And you could see Yelich, who does not possess a great arm anyway. He rounded the ball. Puig is watching him the entire time, and he is really hustling out of the batter's box. Watch him turn it on right here.
That might be the first thing Yelich has done wrong all year. All right, now a chance here. And Peraza shows bunt, pulls the bat away. Ball one, a chance to take the lead for the first time. A hustling leadoff double by Yasiel Puig. Peraza went around. Chase Anderson on for the 6th inning. He's allowed a run on 6 hits. Peraza trying to hit that ball the other way and drops it foul and out of play. He's really got to zero in now at the very minimum, getting Puig down to third base. Reds have had so many issues trying to score runs of late outside of that 11-run outburst and a 12-11 loss on Friday night to the Cardinals. Their last 2 games, they've scored a total of 4 runs.
Much easier early in the at-bat to try to take a chance to move the runner over. Once you get to 2 strikes, if you're still thinking about moving the runner over, you become susceptible to a lot of different pitches.
One out in the inning.
Look more like a cut fastball than the normal fastball. But it was elevated, and Peraza underneath it.
All right, so now Irvin, who's 0 for 2, has struck out swinging, struck out looking. He just missed hitting a home run his last time up on a ball that was just foul. Cleveland winning again tonight. Boy, what a run they're on. But Minnesota in the 5th inning, a 2-run lead at home over the Yankees. That is down to a 3-game spread. Once was 11.5 a month ago. Cardinals and Pirates tied in the bottom of the 8th inning at 2. The Cubs and the Giants are underway. No score in the top of the 2nd inning out west. Giants are playing great baseball right now. I don't know if anybody saw that coming. They were, what, 14 games under 500, something like that. They are now a 500 team, and they are very much in the hunt for the wild card.
Play 700 baseball, you can catch up in a hurry. I don't care what league you're in.
I mean, they are hard charging, the Giants. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Urban. And a base hit into right field. They are going to hold Puig, as now Urban is drifted too far. All right, let's see what happens here. They're going to tag Urban. No, they never made the tag, and they don't get a single out. Can you believe that?
I would imagine.
Oh, now they're saying out.
To look at it.
Now the umpire signaled out. Did I see that right?
Yes. The umpire at second base signaled out. That would be crew chief Jerry Davis.
Boy, what a terrible mistake by Urban here. This is just a really bad mistake.
It's also an outstanding play by Tyler Saladino to circle around the base runner and come back in behind. We used to see Brandon Phillips do that so often.
Yeah.
Got to sneak in down behind that first base line, and you slide right in there and you catch the runner off guard.
Urban's out. Goes Thames to the first baseman, to the second baseman. We know the shortstop and then the second baseman. Saladino, I think, made the tag, right? Or was it Arcia? Arcia, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah. So it goes right to first, to second, to short. Thank you.
But you could see immediately that first base umpire Greg Gibson looked back towards Jerry Davis as if to ask, did he have the ball in his glove? Because where Greg Gibson is, and you can see the positioning, and in a rundown, you're kind of in no man's land for an umpire in that situation. But you could see Greg Gibson look back towards Jerry Davis and ask, you can see him right here, did he have the ball in his glove? Do you have the tag?
You know what, Cowboy? Do you think he tagged him after he slid past the bag and Urban's hand came off the bag?
I don't think so. It looked to me as though Arcia was balancing himself with his glove on the ground. I think they are calling him out on the tag on the foot with the glove.
Okay. Well, it's maybe they got him twice.
That last little bit of lunge right there, and that he's out.
Let's see if he does go by the bag out of curiosity. He goes off of it.
But you can see where Garcia was just trying to balance himself, looking back towards home.
Well, nonetheless, Urban circles too far around the bag. Instead of first and third and one out, he's out. And so is Chase Anderson. This will be our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. We're back in a moment. Here tonight. Goes 5 2/3, allows 7 hits. So far, 1 run. Runner at third, Puig, belongs to him. And now Matt Albers on to try and get the final out. Iglesias with other ideas. Albert's been around a long time, man.
Sinker slider.
2 balls and no strikes. And a base hit into center field by Iglesias. And the Reds have their first lead of the game. So after getting a leadoff double and failing to advance the runner, then you get a 1-out hit. But the runner's thrown out at first base. A 2-out single finally gets Puig in.
Well, for the entirety of the first half, Iglesias was up there at the top, or one of the top hitters with runners in scoring position in the entire National League. And that's a huge hit right there. The 2-out RBI is always the most difficult to come by. And he came up big with that one on that swing.
Reds their first lead of the game.
That's one of those innings, Tom, that could have really soured the momentum of any ball club, especially when you've got runners on, you don't move them over, you make a base running error, and you leave a runner at third. That can make things really start to fall back for you from a mental standpoint. And Iglesias cleans that up with one swing of the bat.
Yep. Iglesias now at 34 runs batted in. And Gratterall, the batter, 1 of 2. Singled and scored in the 5th inning. Iglesias takes off, and it's fouled out of play. Only 3 runs total in the game. We do have 12 hits, and the teams have combined so far to leave 10 base runners.
The Reds have Jared Hughes throwing in the bullpen. That is nothing more than a decoy because Sonny Gray is not coming out of this ball game.
Force out will end the inning. Sonny Gray for the first time is given a lead in this one.
Reds are home this Friday to face the Rockies after the game. Spectacular fireworks show and a concert featuring Zed, presented by the Ohio Lottery. For tickets, visit Reds.com/150. That update you were looking for on Alex Wood. He's at Double-A Chattanooga tonight. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, just 1 earned run. Struck out 4, and Key did not walk a batter through 85 pitches. 59 strikes, and don't know for sure, but I would imagine that's about the pitch range they want him in. I think he's done for the night, but so far 6 innings, 1 earned run. Will that be the last rehab start? We'll have to wait and see.
Thank you very much, Jim Day, for that update. And that's a real good news for Alex Wood.
Tremendous news. And I would bet that if Alex Wood says, look, I'm ready to go, he makes that start. The next start that spot comes up for the Reds, the Tyler Mahle spot where Tyler went on the injured list.
All righty, so now all of a sudden the Reds have a 2-1 lead. There is some action down in the bullpen. Cowboy made reference a minute ago that Jared Hughes was up.
Now it's Michael Lorenzen.
Yes, now Michael Lorenzen indeed. Begin the bottom of the 6th inning. It will be 4, 5, 6 Moustakas Aguilar themes. Moustakas is walked, line to center. 91st pitch of the game coming from Sonny Gray. Hook to the right side, hit very sharply, but right there positioned perfectly is Peraza for the first out of the inning.
That's a hit 10 years ago.
Maybe 5 years ago, but not anymore. So here's the big fella, Aguilar. He stranded 2 runners with a fielder's choice ground ball to the shortstop in the first inning and then doubled off the left field wall his last time up.
Even at the pitch count that Sonny Gray is at, he still has great spin and break on the breaking ball right now. And I think that's where you really have the test of arm strength and kind of where you are at from a fatigue standpoint. It's not about velocity on the fastball. It's can you spin that breaking ball? Does it still have that same sharp break that you had early in the ball game?
Behind Aguilar, or actually they called that first pitch a strike. So I beg your pardon. 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, Derek Johnson sitting in the other dugout in this ballpark this time a year ago as pitching coach for the Brewers, and what a terrific job he has done in that role, his first with the Reds. They hotly pursued him and were able to get him. And of course, he's been watching Sonny Gray since Sonny was a teenager, going back to their days together at Vanderbilt University. Still 1-2 on Aguilar. Well, I mean, can you directly say it's the Derek Johnson effect? Well, the numbers don't lie. Reds 14th in a league in ERA. The Brewers were 4th a year ago. Almost a complete flip-flop this year. He has to have something to do with it.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
Now, in fairness to Brian Price and Danny Darwin and Mac Jenkins and those guys. I mean, Sonny Gray wasn't here. Castillo wasn't Castillo. Tanner Roark wasn't here.
But I think Castillo's resurgence and the reason that he is where he is now is because of the push from Derek Johnson to force greatness. Expect to be great. Don't just expect to be mediocre. And I think that's a mentality that Derek Johnson brings to this staff. He doesn't expect you just to go out there and just show up.
Oh, but you know what I mean.
I do.
You still have Gray and Roark.
A lot of young pitchers for those guys you were talking about. I get that. But I also get that there is a push from that man right there to be great. Don't just show up out there and think you're just going to give me 100 pitches.
I was very surprised yesterday. That was the first game all year long that Anthony DeSclafani had reached 100 pitches in a start. I was stunned. Because he's had his fair share of bumpy starts, but he's had a lot of good starts too.
Well, that start yesterday was awfully good. It was well worthy of winning the ball game.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Aguilar. He's making great work. Finally put him away on another breaking ball. 6 of those for Sonny Gray. 2 down.
It's not just this pitch that gets the strikeout. It's the 2 previous pitches. Sonny just basically led Aguilar out of the strike zone. When you can spot your breaking ball with consistency, middle away, right on the outside corner, and then you take it another 3 or 4 inches off, they just run out of bat.
Well, see, here's where I think things get very interesting. Assuming for a second now that Gray can get Thames out in short order here for the final out of the inning. He's barely over at 100 pitches if he gets out of the inning now. That was number 100 right there. He's due to lead off the next inning. There was a time you wouldn't even debate this. Pitcher's going back out there for the 7th.
They will pinch hit. The Reds will pinch hit for him.
Yeah.
And if they don't, that will be the surprise, not the other way around.
2-0 the count on Thames. Breaking ball and 2-0 a strike.
Bet this for Sonny Gray tonight. On the first pitches, he has thrown 8 fastballs, 8 curveballs, 8 sliders to the 24 batters he's faced. That's mixing it up, baby.
Yes, it is.
But you can't use that 3-pitch mix unless you have some semblance of command and confidence in all 3 of those pitches.
Strike 3 called, and Gray with his 2nd perfect inning of the game, his first since the 2nd inning. 7 strikeouts. We go to the 7th, and the Reds with a 1-run lead. You look at our Honda game summary. Yasmani Grandal with a 2-out double after a single by Yelich. Made it 1-0 Brewers in the 3rd inning. That's the only run that Sonny Gray has allowed. Coming off a 1-2-3-6, has struck out 7 batters in the game, walked 2 and hit a batter. Joey Votto tied the game with a 2-out single in the 5th. And then a 2-out single in the 6th inning by Jose Iglesias breaks a tie. And that's where we stand. We go to the 7th inning. Night is over for Sonny Gray.
And I'm sure that I'm probably missing a pitcher. But when is the last time we had a starter that has been this dominant throughout a season against the Milwaukee Brewers?
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, there have been some guys like Cueto that have had great games here, but over a stretch of time where you've been this dominant, I mean, Sonny Gray has worn the Brewers out.
And you know where he's made his money, a Cowboy, in his starts against these guys, and this is the 4th, is when the Brewers get runners on. And they've had some runners on against him, but when you look inside the numbers and what he has done pitching with runners in scoring position against Milwaukee, and this is why I go crazy when people say, oh, you know, that's a lucky stat. There's nothing lucky about this. Sonny Gray this year against the Brewers, 18 runners in scoring position, has allowed 1 hit. That's not luck.
That's intestinal fortitude.
It's not luck. Not to say that every now and again you can't get lucky, but that's getting down to business indeed. You just said it. Winker will be the pinch hitter.
There are certain things that you can't measure, and in today's game, we want to measure everything. You can't measure the determination of a guy at the plate that may be a 200 hitter, but yet every time you put a runner at second base, he seems to get him home. You put a pitcher out there on the mound, and he gets guys out with guys on base.
Winker, a ground ball to second base against a new pitcher coming on for the Brewers. And they have some other changes as well. Yelich will go over to right field from left. Gamble takes over out in left field, and now on the mound, Adrian Hauser. So 1 away and back to the top of the order we go in Senzel. To short. 2 down.
Hauser, one of those types of pitchers, he's just starting to figure it out how to be successful at the big league level. He has great stuff. His physical tools, boy, they really shine. Hard sinking fastball, late sink, mid-90s. He's got a good breaking ball.
And Votto shoots one into left center field to hit his second base hit of the game. Couple of singles. Knocked in a run back in the fifth to tie the game.
Third baseman, number 7, Eugenio Suarez.
Suarez 0 for 3 in the game. Has struck out swinging, popped to first, and struck out looking. High fly ball. Left center field. Drifting back is Kane at the wall. Bye. And Suarez, a 2-run home run. And now the Reds with a 4-1 lead. Man, did that ball carry.
Sinker that did not sink. Good firm fastball, and goodness knows we have seen Suarez destroy some fastballs this year, and he did just that on that pitch. Middle in, kissed the baby.
I don't think he thought he got it.
Well, I thought he got it. Sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it did. Three straight first pitches put in play. A ground out to short by Senzel, single by Votto, 2-run home run by Suarez. 25 home runs now, 62 runs batted in. And here's Puig. He had that hustling double.
Interesting. Hauser threw all fastballs until the home run, and now he throws Puig 2 breaking balls to begin this at bat.
Puig gets it hard the other way, but coming in to get it is Yelich, and that'll end the inning. 2-run home run by Suarez after a 2-out single by Votto, and the Reds' lead is now 3. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Toyota. For all your Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by First Financial Bank. We put your success first. Learn more at bankatfirst.com, member FDIC. Well, Joey Votto in every major offensive category continues to move up the list. He now ties Vada Pinson, the great Vada Pinson. 6 most runs scored in the history of the Cincinnati Reds. Congratulations, closing in on 1,000. All right, we still have a ways to go in this one, Cowboy. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Michael Lorenzen takes over for Sonny Gray.
Lorenzen has been a jack of all trades as far as the bullpen is concerned for the Reds this year. He's pitched long. He's closed. He's set up. He's come on for one right-handed batter.
Well, he has been by far the most valuable member of the bullpen.
Well, he's pitched the most innings out of the bullpen for the Reds this year.
I'm curious about something here, Cowboy, and look, we've still got a 3-run game here. I'm just curious your thoughts on this.
Lay it on.
Chris Welsh and I were talking about this at length the other day. You know, the Reds have some decisions to make about what they're going to do at the deadline and what they're going to do with some of these starters. Alex Wood hadn't thrown a pitch for him all year long, free agent. Tanner Roark, trade rumors, free agent. You know, you have Castillo, Sonny Gray, and DeSclafani, and Malley, all those guys theoretically coming back next year. But you know, Lorenzen has always said, I'll do whatever the team wants me to do. But if all things were equal, he would prefer to be a starting pitcher. And you being a guy who, you know, you were a closer, you make the money being a closer. But right now, he's not the closer. You can make the money being a starter. And his stuff certainly would tell you that he has enough stuff to be a starter. Do you think that's something that should still be a part of his future?
I don't think that's going to happen. And the reason I say that, he has never really been a starter for an extended period of time and stayed healthy. And I think that is the biggest key. If you knew you could run him out there for 30 starts and he could give you 5 or 6 innings, even 5 innings every 5th day, you could take a chance because of the future. But right now for Michael Lorenzen, he is best suited to be the guy that you can use at any time out of the bullpen. You know he's going to give you some quality outings. He may ultimately end up closing for this ball club down the road.
Might be too far down the road. But he just walks the light hitting Saladino. And here's Gamble, who came on defensively when Hauser entered the game on the mound. Ball 1.
Ultimately, for me, if you're going to start, you've got to be able to throw a fastball for a strike, and you've got to be able to locate it at all times. And you got to be able to do it with your eyes closed. Velocity. Yeah, Lorenzen's got great velocity. But as you just mentioned, you've got a guy up there that's hitting 115, and you walked him because you're trying to just air it out rather than make a pitch, middle away, get a first pitch out on a ground ball. Speaking of Amir Garrett, he is getting loose. I would imagine he would be the man to face Christian Yelich if he indeed comes to the plate in this inning.
Two and two to count on Gamble. Oh boy. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 on, 1 out. Reds lead by 3. Runner takes off. Throw by Gratterall, not going to be in time. And picking up the stolen base is Saladino. I think it was strike 3 called on Gamble. Yep, it was. I think he's asking, how in the world was that strike 3? We'll see that from a different angle.
Greg Counsell a little upset with the pitch call. It doesn't help from an umpire perspective when the catcher is moving and he reaches down for the breaking ball. He's actually coming up trying to be aggressive for the throw at second, so it doesn't look so great from the dugout.
But it was a strike.
It was a strike.
All right, so now Kane, big batter here for Lorenzen and the Reds. Cowboy pointed out you got Yelich next. You don't want to see him with a couple of guys on or a chance to represent the tying run here in the 7th. Let him lead off the next inning. But you have to retire Kane to take care of that. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Kane knows his task here. It is to hit the ball between Peraza and Votto and get aboard for the man that stands on deck.
Well, Garrett's ready to go down there. Well, we'll see if Lorenzen on 3-2 just comes after Kane and challenges with a fastball. Kane's had a nice career, but he's a 240 batter.
Well, he's much slower on the pitches inside than he was at any point earlier in his career. The ball that's out over the plate, he's still able to get enough of the barrel to it to slap the ball into right field. We've seen that time and time again. Matter of fact, we saw that in his first at bat here tonight on a pretty good breaking ball from Sonny Gray. But after that, Gray came in hard, back-to-back strikeout.
It's a big-time pitch coming up right here by Lorenzen. You got to lay the money down right here. Rubber meets the road on 3-2. Oh. That's all for Lorenzen. Here comes Amir Garrett. We're back in a moment. Rockies this coming weekend, and on Saturday the first 20,000 fans in attendance get a Tony Perez bobblehead presented by Cons. Get your tickets today for as low as $12. Michael Lorenzen will leave the mound and he'll go play the outfield. Looks like Irvin's going to go to right, maybe Lorenzen into left and Senzel into center, but we'll see. Far more importantly is the news that Amir Garrett now has to face Yelich with 2 on after a walk to Saladino and another walk to Kane.
Well, the grand plan when you come in the 7th inning and you're facing 7, 8, and 9 in the opposing order, you are there to get 3 straight outs. If not, if something happens where a base hit, you can't allow a walk at that part of the order. You're not in a position to pitch around anybody that hits 7th, 8th, or 9th. Because I'm sure what David Bell would have liked to have done was use Garrett in the 8th inning to face Yelich, Grandal, and Moustakas. Then you bring on Iglesias. That plan has gone awry.
You're wondering about Garrett against Yelich. Yelich is 1 for 6 against him. Without a home run, without a double, without a triple. And Garrett has struck him out 2 of the 6 times. You're wondering about Grandal against Amir Garrett. 1 for 2, but Garrett has walked him 3 times. Grandal is a switch hitter. 3-0 to Yelich. 4-pitch walk. The Reds have loaded the bases on walks with a 3-run lead in the 7th inning.
There is no doubt that the Reds bullpen has been reeling a bit as of late. Just like a starter that goes out, has 2 or 3 outings in a row where things don't go well, you've got to figure out a way to regain your confidence, and that's bullpen wide.
Grandal at 91 at bats is a right-handed hitter, has 6 home runs. It's a .242 hitter from the right side, right at .261 from the left. They are loaded with 2 away. And Garrett is yet to throw a single strike. Grandal not ready to hit that fastball. Really tardy on a 2-0 fastball. Wow. Tardy again on the heater.
This is where things get sideways for your bullpen when you have to get your closer, Raisel Iglesias, up in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
Struck him out, and that'll end the inning. Brewers leave them loaded. Off to the 8th. The Reds lead by 3. All righty, fellas. Look forward to catching up with you in Reds Live, the post game coming up. Still Hauser out there on the mound, and the Reds with a 4-1 lead. Reds have scored all 4 of their runs in their last 3 trips to the plate. 1 to tie it in the 5th, 1 to break the tie in the 6th, and a 2-run big fly by Suarez in the 7th. High fly ball hit pretty well by Peraza into right center field. What a catch by Lorenzo Cain! Are you kidding me? What an unbelievable catch by Cain.
Not only to be able to catch the baseball, but also to avoid the collision with Christian Yelich. You can see him look down at Yelich right at the last second, call the ball, lunge for it, and still make the play.
All right, so 1 out here in the Cincinnati 8th inning, and here's Irvin. Irvin 1 of 3, had a single his last time up in the 6th inning. Hauser, the 3rd pitcher used by the Brewers here tonight. Kane has just been an outstanding defender for many, many years, and we've seen him do this plenty through the years as well. Up and over the wall out by the swimming pool at Chase Field to take away a home run. That was named the Major League Baseball Play of the Week. Lorenzo Kane. Zach Davies appreciated it.
You see great plays by position players, whether they be in the infield or the outfield. But when you watch Lorenzo Kane, he may not be the fastest center fielder, may not have the best arm, but he has phenomenal body control, and he always puts himself in a good spot. He knows when to jump. He knows when he hits the track, how many steps he's got before the wall is there. He also is aware of where his outfielders are as they come together, and we just saw evidence of that one play ago. Just a quick eyeball look to see where Yelich is. But there is something to be said about being fearless. That man is fearless.
He's been a good player for a long time. There's a ground ball foul by Iglesias after a visit to the mound. Iglesias broke the 1-1 tie with a 2-out single to center field, plating Puig in the 6th inning. 1 for 3 in the game.
That changed the complexion of this entire ball game.
Runner takes off and a throw gets by Grandal, and Urban was already into his slide, so he'll stop at second base with a stolen base. So now a chance for Iglesias again to drive in another run. Jam shot roller to third base. Moustakas will throw out Iglesias, staying put Irvin, 2 down, and now a quick message from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at Miami Valley Gaming.
All right, 2 away in the inning for Gratterall. If you're wondering, Lorenzen is in the number 9 spot. When they brought him into the game, that was batting, you may remember. They figured he pitched more than 1 inning. I think it's the way they were at least thinking about it anyway. And so they just put him in the number 9 spot in the order. That was after Jesse Winker had hit for Sonny Gray. Derek Dietrich stands in the on-deck circle. Lorenzen is still in the game as an outfielder, of course. So the Reds would have to make a few changes. They've already burned Winker. So you can't bring him in to play the outfield.
Next choice would be Van Meter.
Yeah. Or Dietrich. So if you want him to play, he's played a little bit of outfield. Of course, you could bring Dietrich in the infield and move Peraza to the outfield. So you got a few options. And there's Van Meter. He got starts the last couple of days. Hit his first major league home run a couple of days ago.
I think he's done well out there for a guy that's a career infielder.
One-two Hauser to Gratterall. And a tapper to third base, charging Moustakas, inning over. 1 left. Brewers are batting the 8th. Reds are up by 3.
Old true moment came in the 7th. Bases juiced. 2 outs. Amir Garrett gets Grandal to strike out to preserve a 3-run lead for the Reds. Our Miller Lite hold. True moment. As we told you, Amir Garrett, big fortnight player. Found that out in spring training, and example of his authenticity during that story we did in spring training. He talked about playing with Reds fans online, playing Fortnite. I met a father who came up to me and said, you know what, I didn't believe it. I thought you're just hyping a player. There's no way he plays with Reds fans. His son messaged Amir on Fortnite. 10 minutes later, was playing Fortnite with Amir Garrett. It's true.
Well, I got to tell you, Jim Day, and I know that you don't walk around patting yourself on the back, but we don't mind doing it for you. You know, the time you spend around some of these guys and the stuff you have access to, and it's amazing. That was a great feature when you were hanging out with those guys. Amir Garrett and his cheerleader, #1 cheerleader, Jesse Winker. Fun stuff. Well, Jim, what do you call him? His hype guy? Is that what he calls Winker?
Yeah, his hype man.
Hype man. I love that. Yeah.
I was just a middle-aged chubby guy trying to sit there and fit in.
Yeah, but you do fit in with those guys. I mean,
Not really.
Suarez the other day hit that home run. Cowboy, you were talking about that before the game today when he says, Jim Day, I hit that for you.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
1 ball to 2 strikes on Moustakas.
Those are the things you don't normally see on a broadcast.
That's right.
And that's just cool stuff. Makes you sit up and take notice.
That's right. And that's all I call it road work. That's all the road work Jim Day's putting in with these guys. Whether it's at the ballpark or away from the ballpark, road work.
It may be a 4-1 lead for the Reds here with 6 outs to go, but you have to pitch as though it is a 1-run lead. We have seen how quick this Brewer ball club can strike.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't get any easier than that.
That's just a great piece of hitting. A veteran hitter.
So we're going to have another pitching change. Reds lead 4-1. Leadoff single in the Brewers' 8th. We're back in a moment. Iglesias coming on from the pen. The 8th inning. A single by Moustakas chases Amir Garrett. And now Raisel Iglesias will come on, but Michael Lorenzen is still in the game. He's out in right field. He's due to lead off the next inning of the plate. Josh Van Meter takes over in left. Are we going to get a 2-inning save chance here by Iglesias? Or Cowboy, is it even a remote possibility that Lorenzen could come back into the game on the mound?
Well, there is a possibility. I don't know that there's a ball on the field. Yeah, there's always that possibility. But I mean, in my mind, you're in the last part of the ball game, the most critical part, and Yasiel Puig is not in the game.
He's been your best defensive outfielder, and obviously a threat at the plate.
I don't always agree with double switching just because you're bringing in a new pitcher. It doesn't always have to go that way.
All right, Iglesias against Aguilar. And a fastball is a strike. Cowboy, how do you see this season for Raisel Iglesias? You were at one time an all-star closer. And, you know, Iglesias has, what, 8 losses this year? He was upset earlier this season and came out and said it after a game that he didn't like the way he was being used, although he knew going into the season that was the way he was going to be used. That didn't mean he was happy about it. He just didn't say anything about it until maybe things weren't going so well. He's blown 2 saves, but he does have, as I mentioned, the 8 losses. Your thoughts on his year?
I don't think he was ready coming out of spring training. I don't think his breaking ball was anywhere near what it should have been and what it is right now. Spring training is to get ready for game 1 and for the season. You have to have all your pitches ready to go. The issue in today's world, if you're going to take a closer that is used to pitching only the 9th inning or maybe 1 out in the 8th and then the 9th, you've got to have both sides in agreement and not just, okay, well, I'll do it. No, I'll do it doesn't work.
Broken bat single. And now all of a sudden here come the Brewers again. The Reds walked him loaded to last it. And now consecutive hits to begin the Milwaukee 8th. And now Derek Johnson comes out of the dugout. Young man who was named a National League's Player of the Week is announced as the pinch hitter. I mean, you know, I made the comment earlier that the only guy on the planet hotter than Christian Yelich is one of his teammates. Well, this would be that teammate. Hira has hit safely in 17 of his last 19 games. Listen to these numbers. 29 for his last 74. That is a .392 batting average. And look at the last 7 games alone. 6 doubles, 2 triples, 8 runs batted in, and better than a .500 batting average. He had a sore quad before the game today. Maybe from running the bases so much. Four-pitch walk to Hira. Bases are loaded with nobody out.
Looks like there's a pinch runner for Hira at first base.
Yeah, Hira bothered with that quad we mentioned, so starting pitcher Zach Davies will run in place of Hira. And he represents a tying run over there. There's Arcia. 0 for 3 in the game. Iglesias has not thrown a single strike to the last 2 batters.
Trying to be a little too careful. Actually, a lot too careful.
Three and one. Three and two.
If you get an out here of any kind, it puts Iglesias back in a positive mode, even if it's a fly ball all the way to the warning track and they score a run. The object at this point is to keep the lead. Problem that you have so many times with a guy that has been a closer, i.e. the ninth inning guy only. He's coming out, and the only thing he's thinking about is trying to strike batters out. So when you get in this kind of situation, normally you create this in the ninth, so then you're able to pick yourself up. You come into the game in this situation. Some guys are not that, they're not ready for that.
Well, Iglesias walked in with a runner at first and nobody out. He allowed the single to Aguilar. He then walked Hira. And now the 3-2 once more on Arcia. And we'll do it again.
There's an entirely different feeling of adrenaline when you come in and you know you only have to get 3 outs versus you come in the 8th, you know you're going to sit back down and come back. And for some guys, I don't really know how to explain that, but for some guys, it just does not work.
3-2 the count. And Iglesias gets a strikeout on the appeal. It looked like it may have gone as ball 4. Check swing, obviously, by Arcia. And on the appeal, it's strike 3. 1 out in the inning.
Definitely win. Boy, that is a huge step in the right direction for the Reds. And that's a break. You caught a break right there. Because that was ball 4 all day, every day, if he doesn't do that.
All right, now Saladino. Actually, you can backtrack everything. It's, oh boy. Straight away center field. Senzel. Grand slam for the second day in a row.
Fastball right in the heart of the plate, right up around the belt.
The guy did not have a home run. He did not have a single RBI until yesterday. He hit a grand slam in the come-from-behind win over Arizona. And here he comes up in the bottom of the 8th inning with the bases loaded the following day. Grand slam. And for Raisel Iglesias, what else is there to say? He's in danger of losing for the 9th time unless the Reds can rally in the top of the 9th inning, which they're only down a run right now, so they're still in the game. That's amazing. This is on a night when the only reason Saladino was in the lineup is because the National League's Player of the Week, named so today, felt some soreness in his quad and was a late scratch. Saladino was put in there for Hero. And a 2 over there, able to big smile, and you can understand why. Second out of the inning.
Center fielder, number 6, Lorenzo.
You know, Cowboy, I thought you said something very interesting in between innings. If you look at the last 2 innings by the 3 best Reds relievers, and there's no debate, those are the 3 best they have. Lorenzen, Garrett, and Iglesias. Lorenzen came into the game facing 7, 8, and 9 in the batting room. You've got Arcia hitting 220. You got Saladino hitting 100. And then you're going to get Ben Gamble. Lorenzen walked Saladino. And that was with 1 out in the inning. He got a second out of the inning. Then he goes 3 and 2 on Lorenzo Cain, walks him. Out goes Lorenzen, in comes Garrett. He walks Yelich. Then you get the strikeout. And now Lady Luck shining on the Brewers as that one hits off the bag. And a base hit for Cain. But again, you can only wonder, you know, if you don't walk the number 8 hitter with a 3-run lead.
Well, if you're David Bell, that's what you're thinking of. You're thinking, okay, I've got Lorenzen 7, 8, 9 here in the 7th. I will bring on my left-hander in Garrett. That way I know that Yelich, Grandal, and Moustakas more than likely can't hurt me in that spot. Then I bring on Iglesias in the 9th. But when you don't get through the 7th, you have to bring on Garrett early. Now you have to go to Iglesias early, and this is what you have.
Iglesias gets 2 outs and gives up 3 runs. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Look at that exit velocity. Over 105 miles per hour, straightaway central, grand slam. Iglesias 2/3 of an inning, 2 strikeouts, a walk, 2 hits, 3 runs. 3 hits, I beg your pardon. 3 runs. And now Wandy Peralta to face Christian Yelich. The last inning and 2/3. Reds pitchers have allowed 4 walks, 4 hits, and 4 runs. And a 4-1 lead is now a 5-4 deficit. 2-1 on Yelich.
You have a tendency as a bullpen, when things start to get a little sideways, it starts to create a bit of panic, if you will, in the bullpen. Everybody starts trying to make a perfect pitch, trying to strike out every batter that comes to the plate, and then things really start to seep downhill.
It's a fair ball. And the inning is over. All right, Reds will have one more crack at it. 9-1-2 in the order coming up. Call it Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing, right here on Fox Sports Ohio, 30 minutes before the start of every game, and tomorrow no different. Once more with the 1-hour time difference, Reds Live gets underway at 7:30 Eastern time tomorrow night. Our game coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Tanner Roark and Zach Davies. Davies is having an excellent year at 2.7 ERA, and Roark has been rock solid for the Reds. All right, Hauser gives them 2 innings, allows a couple of runs, but right now he's the pitcher of record after the Brewers get the grand slam by Saladino off Iglesias in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Jeremy Jeffress will come on to try and get the save. We figured there was no way we were seeing Hader tonight, and we thought there was a chance we might not see Jeffress. The last 3 games this Milwaukee bullpen coming into tonight had had to cover 16 2/3 innings. Jeffress has thrown 31 pitches in the last 2 games. So he's pitching for a 3rd day in a row. Peralta's pitched 2 days in a row. The flame-throwing lefty Hader has thrown 2 games in a row. And their starter, their best starter, who went to the All-Star game, Brandon Woodruff, had to leave after 3 innings yesterday, so the bullpen had to cover the final 6 frames of that game.
And this bullpen came in with 408 1/3 innings pitched, first in the National League in that department already.
And when you say first, you could say last, meaning it's not where you want to be.
The innings they have pitched is the most.
There's very little doubt they're leaning hard on Jeffress here tonight. And that's the one thing about Jeffress. He's been a very good pitcher for this franchise after getting everything straightened out off the field in his life. He's become a very good pitcher. Now, he had his ups and downs in the postseason last year, no debate about that, but he will take the ball.
Well, that's one of the reasons that he had the issues in the postseason, is he was worn out.
And 2 on Derek Dietrich. And he's gone swinging to begin the Cincinnati 9th inning.
Pretty good breaking ball there, right underneath the hands of Derek Dietrich.
All right, so now we go to the leadoff spot. So the way you have Senzel, Votto, Suarez, and then remember, if we get any further than that, any kind of a rally, Yasiel Puig is out of this game. That would be Van Meter now hitting in the cleanup spot. Ground ball deep in the hole. Going to be a tough play for Arcia. And the throw is high. And staying at first base will be Senzel. So the tying run is aboard on an infield hit by Nick Senzel.
First baseman, number 19, Joey.
Pretty much a do or die play for Arcia. Everything has to be absolutely perfect, especially with the speed of Senzel.
You see the numbers for Votto in his career against Jeffress. For Nick Senzel, by the way, that's the third time he's been on base tonight. That's getting it done. First game back in the lineup after injuring his hamstring in Chicago. Votto's had a good game, couple of hits and an RBI and a run scored.
I really enjoy the way Nick Senzel plays the game. He brings the fight to you. And for a young player, you gotta love that.
Went 2-1 Votto, and a slow roller to the right side. They'll take the out at first, but the tying run moves into scoring position. The Reds are down to their final out of the ninth.
Interesting there. If Senzel had continued around second base onto third, he could have made that easily. There was no third baseman. But in this kind of spot, you're kind of looking and wondering, all right, is there an out at first? Or you're hustling into second, thinking about breaking up a double play.
Eugenio Suarez back in the seventh inning, made it a 4-1 game with his home run to deep left center field. Could find that swing and that contact one more time, Reds would leapfrog back into the lead. And you know, the way it is right now, Wandy Peralta apparently, if this game should be extended to the bottom of the ninth inning, whether it be with a lead or in a tie game, he's the guy that's going to stay in this game. There's nobody else getting loose. 1-0 on Suarez. High drive, and this game will be extended. Suarez has done it again.
That is unbelievable.
Eugenio Suarez unloads a two-run home run, and the Reds are in front. Can you believe the way the pendulum has gone from the bottom of the eighth inning to this top of the ninth inning?
Well, if you've watched these two clubs play over the years, you know it's take a hit, give a hit, and it's the last man standing.
Eugenio Suarez, home runs in the seventh and the ninth, giving him 26 home runs and now 64 runs batted in. I just can't believe it. I mean, you know, you're blessed enough to call baseball for 31 years, and there are just certain games where you think, not your night. And after Saladino hits a grand slam for the second night in a row, you're thinking, no way it's your night. But don't tell number 7 now. Van Meter bounces out. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Look at it again. Eugenio Suarez, a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th inning. And the Reds recapture the lead. It is 6-5. Brewers will bat in the bottom of the 9th. And Wandy Peralta trying to nail it down. He would be the winning pitcher in this game if the Reds can win it. Peraza takes over in left field, by the way. And Dietrich plays second base.
And now Van Meter is in right field.
Thank you. Taking over for Lorenzen. Line drive caught. Ball to find you won't as soon as you come into a game in a different position.
And you can see Peraza smiling. It's a whole different way of judging the baseball when you go from a middle infield spot into the outfield.
Pop straight up in the air, and once more it'll be Peraza. 2 down in the inning. 1 out away from one of the most unlikely scenarios you have ever seen in a baseball game. One more out to go after Wandy Peralta retires the first 2 batters here in the Milwaukee 9th inning. 1-run lead, 6-5 Reds, and Jared Hughes trying to close it out. 1 out to go. Aguilar the batter. Hughes did a nice job closing games last year when Iglesias was out, but it's been a very different year this year for Jared Hughes. Aguilar, a couple of hits tonight, double and a single. Brewers have the pitcher spot next, and that looks like Manny Pena. Is that who that is over there?
That is correct.
On the on-deck circuit. Two balls and a strike on Aguilar. Always playing the lefty-righty sort of thing. That's what baseball has turned into now. Hughes walks. Aguilar, now the tying run is on first base. They're going to send in a pinch runner for Aguilar. That'll be Freddie Peralta, pitcher. Right-handed batters this year against Wandy Peralta are hitting .234. Right-handed batters against Jared Hughes this year hitting .235. So flip a coin. Peralta's faced 47 batters. Hughes has faced 98. Ball 1 to Manny Pena. Bottom of the 9th inning, tying run at first. Lead run at the plate, winning run at the plate. A ball and a strike.
I think for a pitcher like Jared Hughes, he's one of those pitchers you have to overuse because of his sinking fastball. The more fatigue he has, the better the sink of the pitch.
Two and two on Pena, who has 5 home runs, 16 hits, and 101 plate appearances. Just a 180 batter. And that's the old ball game, and Jared Hughes gets a final out. He gets his first save of the year, and what an incredible win after nearly a humiliating loss. And it's thanks to that man right there, Eugenio Suarez. Senzel got on base in the top of the 9th with an infield hit. It allowed Suarez to get to the plate in that 9th inning. And after hitting a 2-run home run in the 7th, he hits a 2-run home run in the 9th. And needless to say, our key performer, brought to you by your Tri-State Buick GMC dealers, would be the Reds' third baseman, Eugenio Suarez.
If you could award a save to a position player, Eugenio Suarez would get my vote here tonight.
Let's give a little bit of credit tonight, too, to Wandy Peralta and Jared Hughes. They got the job done. All right. Jim Day is standing by with Eugenio Suarez. If there's anybody that has a chance to run down any of these Reds. I mean, Suarez hit a home run for the guy the other night. So we're just waiting for him to get into position down there. And Jimbo, take it away.
All right, boys, thank you very much. All right, Eugenio's, you're sitting in the box in the 9th inning, got the tying run on. What's going through your mind?
You know, I just thought and help my team wins. You know, I just try to concentrate on my at-bat, be aggressive on my strike zone pitch. And, you know, everybody know Jeffrey is a tough guy, you know, but he missed that pitch right on my strike zone. And I do my best. I try to put a ball in play. I did it, and we win the game.
That was Puig doing the honors, and that was not water. I think that was a little Powerade.
It's a Powerade on me, man. That's cold, but that's fine, man. This is the winning effect. You know, we enjoy winning. When we win, everything is good. That's why we got outside to play hard, to battle all games and win the games. That's what we want, and that's what we did it today. This is for our team, you know, and this is for every Cincinnati Reds fans, my family. I know they watch me, and, you know, I'm so happy right now to help my team wins.
And particularly on a night where you guys had to lead, and then you see the lead go by the wayside on a grand slam. It would have been a really tough loss. It has to be extra satisfying with that in mind.
Yeah, it was tough. Everybody knows that was tough. You know, nobody won, you know, with a lead and hit a grand line, they take a lead. But this game is about who scored more runs, and we didn't deny, and we win the game. That's what we're doing, and that's what I keep going doing.
Gino, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Jim Day. I hope you got a great night, Jim Day.
It's a great night. Thanks to you. Stay with us. More to come. We'll put a capper on this. It's Reds Live, the post-game edition of Boys in Cincinnati. Standing by here.